Hey guys, welcome to the MMA Brothers Podcast, the newest, baddest, and best podcast out there. And let's get it going. Hello guys, and welcome back to the MMA Brothers Podcast. My name is Daryl.
This is Asher over here.
And we're talking UFC Fight Night, Paul Felder versus Dan the Hangman Hooker.
Yep, this event took place in New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand. And wasn't the best of main cards, but that's okay. We're going to start from the bottom. The main card, the first fight of the night, it was actually Quake Riddell versus Magomed Mustafaev, the sniper. So this guy landed 8 takedowns, and that was like pretty much what he was up to. You know how the Russians fight. They're really, really heavy in the takedowns. So I don't even know if there's any Russian that's not good at wrestling in the UFC. They're all pretty good at it. So yeah, Brad won this fight because he landed more strikes. He was better on the feet, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this fight. It's kind of like not really exciting fight to me, to be honest. Do you have anything to add?
No, City Kickboxing showed out once again. They're one of the best gyms in the world for MMA currently, so it was nice to see that I think all their fighters got a win who are on this card, which can only spell good things for the future. Adesanya is very happy for Brad Riddell. At the end of the day, it wasn't that exciting of a fight. There's a few strikes, lots of takedowns, but I didn't leave the fight saying, I want to see the next fight. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, so we're going to move on to the big boys. I think this is the only heavyweight fight on the main card. So,
and the big lads,
Sosoli versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Yeah, you want to break this one down?
So it's just two big dudes going at it, swinging. That's what I like seeing. Just two big dudes just going out there saying, I'm going to knock you out before you knock me out. Not too much technique was involved. Just hooks, just cross, just throwing some heat. The Combat Wombat has never been dropped before this fight. Marcos dropped him. And God damn.
He hit the ground, and then it was pretty much over. He hit him with one more strike to just put the dessert on the cake.
Everyone's chin's got his day, man. You know what I mean? You can't be out here taking shots from heavyweights for your whole career. Ben, this should be a lesson for him.
Learn next from Chuck Liddell, man. He got hit with the jab at T to work crumbs. Like, bro, let's go, Chuck. Let's go. Let's go, Chuck. Oh, man.
So, yeah. You know what, guys? I don't
fighters that, like, use their chin as a weapon, it's not smart.
They don't use it as a weapon. But, you know, Ben Sosoli did himself no harm in that fight because people are not going to get excited to see him because he just goes in there and just starts swinging haymakers. I love to see it. I don't know if you guys like to see it. Just those technique gurus. Oh, no, man. I want to see a guy get in there, jab, use his thing, use his movement. Nah, man. It was big boys. I just want to see some big shots landed, man.
Yep.
Let's keep it moving.
So, we'll keep it moving. This one. Oh, yeah.
Karolina.
Karolina Kowalkiewicz,
man, versus Jan, and then we'll leave it as Jan, okay? Yeah, before we butcher her name. She really beat the brakes off of Karolina, man.
Yeah, I felt so bad.
And then when she threw that, like, it was a jumping side kick. No, side.
Yeah.
To
her face, and then the picture they took of her face just going.
The UFC cameraman always snaking the fighters, bro.
Yeah,
and even in the boxing, like they just keep snaking them. Like they put like the worst angle, like your guys go.
The worst you look is just the best for them. Just watch your mic, by the way. It might be making noise by moving around.
Shut up. Anyways, you can see, guys, it was 103 strikes she threw. She threw double. Almost 2.5 versus the volume that Karolina threw. There's a lot of good, exciting Chinese fighters coming out. The Asian market is booming with some good fighters, man. They're a very exciting market to come out. Obviously, there's Muay Thai, and Thai comes from Thailand, whatever. But I'm just saying, there's a lot more emerging Asian talent, in my opinion, that's coming, and I'm super excited about it because they're super technical and they bring a lot of power. Look at Wei Li Jing.
He's Korean, but like, yeah, I know what you mean. He just came back to the UFC, and he's a pretty good fighter. So definitely, I agree that the Asian market is growing.
Okay, like, do you have anything else to add? You're just looking at me.
No, I agree with you. I told you, Korean zombie. I added that to what you were saying. He's not Chinese, he's Korean, but yes, he's a big figure in the Asian market. And it's good that they have more Chinese fighters because then they can hold more events in China. Because I think Wei Li Zhang actually won the belt against, what's her name?
Jessica Andrade.
Jessica Andrade in Beijing. I think that's where they held the event. So, yeah, definitely having more fighters from different markets is a good thing. Now, we're going to move on to the co-main event of the evening. Mr. Jim Crute, or Kraut, whatever you say his name,
Jimmy
versus Crute. Yeah, I'm saying it right. The first
versus Michael Oleksiejczuk.
versus Lord. Okay,
We call him Michael Lord.
Mr. Lord. Mr.
So
Lord got his. Didn't yeah.
This is what I was saying about Crute. Crute's nice on the feet. He's good in submissions. He's good everywhere. I think he's only got one loss on his record, if I'm not mistaken. I think
He's pretty good. Yeah.
He's like 13-1 or 14-1 or whatever his record is. But he's super good. He's super technical. He's got the physique that throws power. He's not necessarily a long distance fighter, but in the first couple rounds, he's super dangerous. As you can see, he got the submission victory this time, right?
Yeah.
So
8 takedowns. How do you let 8 takedowns in like how many minutes? In like 3.
Because all he did is push forward. Michal was trying to throw that left hook, and then he just got submitted.
I'm like, bro, like, I think that might be a UFC record. I don't know, bro. That's pretty crazy. 3 minutes, 8. That's like a takedown, like not even every 30 seconds or something.
Colby Covington's probably done it, bro.
Not even Khabib lands takedowns that fast. That's crazy.
Yeah, let's go.
But,
let's keep it moving now.
So we're gonna move on to the main event of the evening.
Paul Felder,
Mr. Paul Felder versus Dan the Handman Hooker, the Irish Dragon. I'm gonna go right into it and say I think the Irish Dragon won this fight, guys.
I don't.
Let me explain my side and then you can explain your side.
No.
So yes, the Irish Dragon, in my opinion, he was the one that was putting the pressure on him. He landed more strikes, right? Oh, sorry. No. My bad. He put the pressure on him. He landed the bigger strikes. In round 5, Felder is actually really like winning that round until that takedown happened.
Winning the round till when? Till what? The minute and 30 mark? Because after the minute and 30 mark, it was all Dan Hooker.
Yeah, but
he got cracked in the beginning of the round, then stabilized the rest of the round.
How long is the round?
5 minutes.
Okay.
So if you're dominating for a minute and 30 and the guy dominates for the other portion of it, 3.5 minutes, who won the round?
So you're saying who won the round? Who are you saying won?
Dan Hooker won the... I had it 4-4.
You said the last minute and a half was Hooker dominating.
No. Paul Felder was dominating the first minute and 30 seconds of the fifth round.
The last 3.5 minutes was Hooker. I don't think it was that long.
No, because now listen. The fight, the fifth round starts off. Paul Felder comes in with the heat, right? He's throwing hooks, he's throwing this, he's landing crosses, he's doing this, right? Then Dan decides to switch it up by clinching. So he's like, okay, I'm going to move, he evades, clinches him against the thin cage, breaks off, and he's throwing shots. They break, right? He's throwing shots, couldn't take Paul down. With, 2 minutes left. So that was like for about a 1 minute span. He's trying to hold him up against the fence thing. So right now, Felder up a minute and a half to Dan Hooker's 1 minute. The next phase, right? Paul Felder does the same thing. Comes off, he's throwing, he gets pushed up against the cage, then he gets scooped, and then he gets dropped, right? On his butt. Then Dan starts hammering him. Now he's at top position for a minute and a half, right? So there's 2.5 minutes to 1 minute and 30. There's about 30 seconds, 45 seconds left in the fight. Whatever the math is, don't quote me on the math. But the rest of the round looked like Dan Hooker's round. That takedown, you can even hear the commentator say, that might have won him the fight right there. Because Felder didn't take Hooker down. Yes. Hooker took Felder down and he landed shots. It's not like he just took him down and held him there. He's landing shots on the ground.
Not much. I don't know how many shots.
He threw strikes though.
Yeah, but nothing.
In a dominant position on the ground. If Felder was cutting him up with elbows and hooks from the ground, cool. That's not a dominant position. You cannot argue for Dan Hooker losing the fifth round. I don't think that's a fair argument because it's either you gave half the round to Hooker, half the round to Felder, if you're going to extend Felder's thing to 2.5 minutes. But guess what? Who did more damage in that fifth round? The takedown scored points. He was hitting him with ground shots, right? And he kept pinging him with his jab. Is a jab not worth as much as a cross? Like, how are you scoring it?
Okay, I'm going to score it from the beginning. So, round 1, Hooker, he landed some nice leg kicks and Felder wasn't able to touch him up as much. Round 2, I think I would still say Hooker.
No, I gave it to Felder.
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but
it went tic-tac.
Yeah, it was back and forth. But Felder is clearly snapping Hooker's head back every time he hit it. Boom,
yeah, okay, so now listen. What do you value more, right? Jabs and leg kicks or crosses? Because for each cross Dan ate, he threw a leg kick and a jab that landed on Paul Felder.
Felder is landing leg kicks back too. Significant strikes, yeah. I mean, significant strike is anything but a jab, right? So leg kicks, punch, crosses, hooks, whatever. These are all the significant strikes that they have.
And he was the more accurate fighter.
Yeah.
He had takedowns. So there's literally, what justification do you have? What, his crosses?
Round
That's
3
it?
and 4, for sure, Felder won. Round 1 and 2, those ones you said Felder won 2 in your mind. So I think most people would actually agree that Felder won 3 and 4 for sure.
I think Felder won rounds 2 and 4. I think Dan won round 1.
So
he lost round 2. He won round 3. Lost round 4.
What happened in round 3 in order for you to say that he won?
What do you mean?
What did Hooker do in round 3 that made you score the round for him?
I think that the second round, Paul Felder started landing leg kicks. Right. Third round, Dan was like, I'm gonna stop throwing leg kicks. I'm gonna jab him up this whole round. Right. That's when he messed up Felder's eye. Felder's eye started getting really bad in the third round, right? That's when he caught Dan with the right cross, right? And then he messed up his cheek in that round, right? That round was predominantly Dan until you got hit for like a minute and a half when he was on his back legs, when you got stunned, right? So you're gonna one stun is enough to capture the whole round? I don't think so. Because I take it as the volume of the 5 minutes. If you're pressuring for 3.5 minutes out of 5, and then you get caught for a minute and a half, who's winning that round?
Okay, so I mean, the thing is, for me, from what I read online, most people thought that Paul Felder won the fight.
There's also a lot of idiots online who don't watch MMA and watch one fight.
It's like same thing with Reyes. Most people thought Reyes won the fight against Jones,
which is
whatever. I'm just covering public opinion. So most people thought that Felder won this fight not because he's just a UFC commentator. I scored it because without any bias, I thought Felder had won the fight. Yes, it was in New Zealand, and yes, there was a takedown in the 5th round. So,
but what are you basing it off of?
Basing what off of?
How did Felder win?
I told you.
By what?
By having more rounds. So, arguably, you could have given the 5th round to Felder, but yes, let's assume that he didn't win it. You said round 2 you gave to Felder. I gave 3 and 4 for sure for Felder. And I thought round 5, if he wins this round, then it's no brainer that he won the fight. And it was a split decision. That goes to show you that it was actually close. One of the judges scored the fight for Felder, right? The John Jones fight wasn't actually a split decision. They just scored it for Jones unanimously, right? So this fight was a lot closer than you're making it seem. Because in my mind, yes, the Irish Dragon's face was more battered up, but even the commentators were saying, like, bro, like, power-wise, like, when you see Felder hitting Hooker, he was, like, even the leg kicks, like, Hooker was landing them and stuff, but when he, like, Hooker's legs were, like, being carried and stuff, Felder was just hitting him with, like, really hard shots. And I know that you're going to say that the commentators could be biased for him, but the thing is, Felder's skin and his face, they were saying that he tends to wear more damage in his face than his opponent does. So Hooker made it look like
so that's supposed to count as negative against his opponent?
No, it's not. But I'm just saying that it looks better for the judges being like, oh, this guy's getting messed up. Like, look at his face. You know what I mean? Like, it's
So how do you score fights?
So let me give you another example.
How do you score fights?
Nate Diaz, for example, right?
Yeah.
Nate Diaz, you hit him with a jab, you hit him with 2-3 punches, guy's bleeding bare. You know what I mean? So
I'm asking you a question. How do you score fights?
Aggression, right?
Okay.
These are the things that you give John Jones.
Okay.
Who was aggressing the whole fight?
What do you mean? It was different. First round it was Dan. Third round it was Dan.
Not the whole fight. Most of the fight, who was aggressing?
Aggressing, saying what? In what manner?
Who was the one that was moving backwards throughout most of the fight?
I would say it was Felder who was moving forward.
Yes, moving forward. Yes, he was the one that was moving forward.
But was he taking damage while moving forward?
With the Jones fight, we gave Jones that advantage, saying he was the one that was putting the pressure on thing. Because
octagon control.
Octagon control, clearly Felder.
Maybe strikes. No, not clearly Felder. It's probably 2-3. Like, it wasn't a complete wash. Because Dan was pressuring him, leg kicking him and doing that.
I don't remember Felder being on his back foot most of the fight. I remember...
Then how did he get clinch work against the cage if you're the one who's not being the advancer?
What do you mean?
Like, how did he clinch him against the fifth?
Fight. It wasn't like 25 minutes worth of Felder putting the pressure. Most of the fight, you agreed, Felder's putting the...
Yes, 3 rounds to 2, I would give to Felder.
So stats-wise, we're not breaking it down round by round. We don't have that detail. But as you can see here, Hooker had more of the strikes landed, right?
Hooker had a higher strike percentage.
In the Jones fight, right? Reyes had the strike advantage too. Right?
Yes, but not... Listen, the way I scored the Reyes fight was not because he threw more. Did he land more of what he threw? Do you get what I'm trying to say? The strike percentage. The strike percentage he threw less and landed more. Yeah. For me, that's better. If I can hit you more than you hit me with me throwing less, who's better? In my opinion, it's the guy with the higher strike percentage, right? Here, total strike 49 to 57, right? You're talking about power strikes. He's wearing them. He's hitting them. He's cracking them. Okay, you want to go into significant strikes? 48-55. He's still got the edge there. You want to go into takedowns? He still had the average there. The only thing you can give Paul Felder is aggression, octagon control. What else?
Whatever, we'll agree to disagree. In my mind, when I was watching the fights round by round,
but how did you score it?
I
That's
told
what I'm
you.
asking.
I've said it 3 times.
Aggression.
Round 3 and 4, I gave to Felder.
That's not what I'm asking you.
How
do you score the fights?
Aggression and damage, strikes landed. In those 2 rounds, 3 and 4 especially, Felder had the advantage in those. Round 2, you actually said you gave it to Felder. I didn't even actually give it to Felder. I gave that one to Hooker. But if you gave that one to Felder, then that's 3 rounds in the bag. And some people could have given. Some people could have given the 5th round.
Then Hooker won the 5th round.
Anyways, the judges had it split, and many people said it could go either way, even before the judges announced the decision. Now, I think, so just to summarize this up, I think that MMA has a little bit of a problem when it comes to judges in the hometowns fighter. Sorry, they have a little bit of a problem when it comes to judging for the main event hometown fighter, right? So I remember Michael Bisping versus Anderson Silva when they fought. I think it was in Manchester and London. I can't remember. Bisping was pretty messed up. Yeah, he was the aggressor and stuff, but like damage-wise, like he took a lot of damage, right? They scored it for Bisping. This fight, obviously, in New Zealand. I'm trying.
Yeah, but that's with every sport. Every sport, there's a home bias.
It happens. You know,
every sport has home field bias.
That's what I'm saying.
It's something you can't eliminate from sports.
If this fight was in, again, you could say Felder is American, so if it was in Vegas, maybe it was scored for Felder. But I'm just saying, these things tend to happen. Is it in the UFC's interest to have their hometown fighter win? Yes. I understand that the judges don't work for the UFC. I know that. But I'm just saying, it's always a good thing when the hometown fighter takes a win. The crowd's happy.
There's not one sport where there's no home field advantage.
Yes.
Where you're not going to get calls.
Advantage here. And after the L, then Paul Felder says he might just retire, which sucks because like he won 5 straight fights at lightweight. In my opinion, this is his 6th win. So it's a little tough, but I hope, again, I want to say I hope he continues, but like lightweight is a Shark Tank, bro. Like who's next? Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, Tony Ferguson, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Like really,
Justin Gaethje.
Like, is that who you want next, Felder? And Dan Hooker calling out Gaethje. I'm like, yo, Dan Hooker, I know you're good, but like, come on, bro. You sure you want to go down that route, Gaethje, bro? I don't think he's that good.
Dan is not scared of anyone, man.
It's not about fear.
No. But listen, the thing that people are forgetting is his movement was amazing. Right? His jab work was amazing. If you look at it from a kickboxing standpoint, he beat him. If you look at it from a grappling standpoint, he beat him. If you look at it from any...
I'm not arguing that now.
But what I'm saying is people are like, oh, no, he's calling it that you don't think Dan's that good. On the ground, yes, Gaethje's a tremendous wrestler, but Dan can throw some crazy submissions.
If you think Felder puts on the pressure... Gaethje's like 2-3 times more pressure.
But Gaethje eats a lot of shots.
That's fine.
That's not what you want to do against Dan.
He will eat one and he'll give one. That's the thing. Just will Hooker be able to take what Gaethje's gonna give? Because we know that Gaethje can take it. You know, he can take a beating. So I don't know, man.
It's not gonna happen.
I watched the Barbosa fight versus Hooker. Hooker gets hit, and I know he's gotten better since then. But
he's gotten way better.
I just hope. I don't know. Same thing is, if that Hooker Gaethje fight happens, cool. But I would prefer to see McGregor versus Gaethje. That's just my opinion.
Anyways, let's wrap it up. Yeah. Guys, you heard a passionate argument from both sides. Let us know what you think. I honestly think it was a close fight. Don't get it twisted. I had a 2-2 going into the 5th. But that takedown and that top control, the pressure to push him up against the fence, I think if you look at it minute by minute, if you score it that way, Dan gets the nod. I'm not saying he was on top the whole 5th round, but I think for majority of the minutes in that round, he had the upper hand. That's how I'm going to conclude it. Let us know what you think. Brian, let us know. Our Polish fan who commented on the Polish Power. We want to hear from you too. Anyone else, please like, comment, subscribe to MMA Brothers Podcast. Tell your friends about it. Post it in MMA channels. We love to hear what you guys have to say. Anything you got to say? Any last parting words?
Nope. So look out for the preview again this weekend. I think we got the flyweights. We got a flyweight fight this weekend. if I'm not mistaken. If not, then we'll do a preview for the next UFC card. And yeah, just keep watching, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.